is there anyone who wishes to have basic instructions for a beginner so that I can give a guided meditation or briefing, or do you have your own methods? Would you like to have a briefing on the how to have a sitting meditation? So we must consider the opportunity here. We are lucky to have this kind of a meditation hall and people with the same interests, and we also lucky to have our own time. So whenever we get this kind of a opportune situation, we invite them on the sitting meditation, walking meditation, and how to be mindful in the day-to-day activities. So to start today's sitting meditation, I would like to do a briefing. Rather, it will be a guided meditation so that the senior meditators as well as beginners can go into deep mindfulness. So to start, I would like to mention this whole almost 7 days work I would like to recognize as endeavor for establishment of mindfulness. So throughout these days, we will be trying our best in 3 ways. One thing is very intensive method of establishment of mindfulness. The second one is the semi-intensive method. The last is the extensive method. The sitting meditation is the one I would categorize as intensive way of establishment of mindfulness. So when we come to a sitting posture, the omniscient one, the Buddha, invariably he mentioned what is the most conducive macroclimate and the microclimate. As far as the macroclimate is concerned, he says, Aranyagatova, Rukkhamulagatova, Sunyagaragatova, in Pali, specifically in Satipatthana Sutta and the other suttas like Anapanasati Sutta, and that indicates you have to go to a forest or under a tree or in a secluded place. So this one, the present situation, we can say we resorted to the secluded place. The secluded means how much may be the people around, but no one is concerned about the sensuous pleasure. They are concerned about everyone's solitude, everyone's silence. So we all must maintain this silent situation and respect to each other and cleanliness, so that we can have this sunyagara or solitude situation. Once it's a rare opportunity, so whenever it happens, if we are going to make use it, that is the way we must invest our faith upon this proper thing. And then we have to concern about the microclimate, that is to say our bodily posture. The Buddha depicts 4 cardinal postures: sitting, standing, walking and lying down. For the intensive method, what the omniscient one, the Buddha, recommend is the sitting posture. So what we do is, in our meditation hall, we keep statue of the Buddha depicting how comfortably and how confirmly the Buddha sits. So this is the one we are going to repeat. So that means the theoretically maximum is the full lotus posture, but every one of us are not much familiar with this full lotus. So instead we can go for half a lotus or quarter lotus, or otherwise whatever may be the posture, that will keep our body at comfort. So therefore, whenever we resume the familiar, comfortable posture, that is how we confirm the microclimate and the macroclimate. And once that is done, being we are in a solitude place, sunyagara, we have to concern that individual, each of us, each entity have 5 senses: the eye, the ear, the nose, the tongue, and the body in the materialistic side, and the mind. So out of these 5 physical doors, in order to intensify the mindfulness, the Buddha recommends us to close 4 out of 5. That is why we are closing our eyes mildly, so that the seeing faculty, the eye, will not involve in transactions, so that we mildly close our eyes. And ears we can't close virtually by ourselves, so that we have to go to a silent place as much as possible. So everyone must respect each other silence. That means we are maintaining noble silence. And whenever we do something, always listen to the sounds that we are emitting. Don't worry about the sounds emitting by the others and the phenomena. Be mindful about own silence, own activity, and one's own sounds. That will help you to be self-conscious, to see how much we are emitting, we are adding the sounds to the environment. Try to reduce as much as possible, so that will be the respect for each other. And virtue of that, with time, we are going to get more and more silence. And if we are not concerned about the amount of noise we are emitting, we will not get the silence in return. So therefore, that also we have to have for this intensive method. And as far as the nose and the smell, taste and the mouth is concerned, during this intensive system, we try to keep both neutral. We are not selecting atmosphere with full of fragrance or any smell, bad smell, and we are not going to entertain any foods primarily, and secondly no talking, and then only the bodily posture. That is, upon that only we are going to place our mindfulness, and that is why the Buddha in Satipatthana Sutta call it as a kaya anupassī vihārati, dwelling upon the body, on body mindfulness. So our machine, the lever system, the machine, the corporeality, the body is the what we are going to focus our attention. So that therefore we have to, after mildly closing our eyes, we have to scan through the body in a way to assure that we are sitting in comfort. In order to make sure, one has to see whether our right side and the left side is balanced. So if it is not so, in early few minutes, don't hesitate, make it comfortable, balance. And the second part is check through your mind whether each and every muscle is relaxed. Don't make them tensed. At least your eyelids or your neck muscles behind or the back all must be relaxed and symmetrical. The first and foremost way of establishment of mindfulness is being aware of this relaxation. We can justify that relaxed moment, thought moment, in a way we become friendly with ourselves. We become concerned about ourselves. That means kind of a loving kindness. The second one is, whenever we become mindful on our comfort, the bodily comfort, that is a kind of a justification. The mind come back to its base, so to say, be here and now. So make the body comfortable, symmetrical, be aware of its comfort, symmetry, and that is the first and foremost thing to establish the mindfulness. So therefore we will get a single and simple definition, the mindfulness means be here and now. The body is the object we take, and we try to be with 100% totally with own body, here and now. Whenever that is being challenged by wandering thoughts, thinking about the past and the future, and when thoughts thinking about the home or office or other places, that simply indicate that you are off the moment of the mindfulness, and otherwise you may be sitting here but concerned about yet another person or another thing, that still another place where you get dislodged. So whenever such a thing happens, you have to bring it back very in a comfortable way or friendly way, bring it back to the here, now, I am. Or here, now, I am sitting. So in order to get this assurance, your mind must be free from thoughts, your body must be fairly free from pains, destructive pains, and the atmosphere must be fairly free of sounds. Whenever the mind entertains that lack of thoughts, or lack of irritating pains, unbearable pains, a lack of sounds, it will come home, it will feel at home, that is to say, here, now, I am. So this is the single and simple way of defining the mindfulness. So each of us, we can make sure we can reach that. We can understand, at least in theoretical way or deductive way, rational way, conceptual way, and sometimes we can experience it under one's very nose. Be here and now. It's a matter of now maintenance of this thought moment in the consecutive thought moments. That is what we call meditation. Or we can rather say establishment of mindfulness. So whenever the mind becomes happy, contented, at home with here and now, so much so, it will continue with this thought of here and now, and then you are the very first person to understand, now my mind is continuum with the stream of consciousness, continue with this mindfulness. Whenever it goes off, you are the very first person to know that it is wandering off, daydreaming, fantasizing, or any other mental engagement. Or maybe bodily uncomfortability, or maybe some due to the sounds, or whatever may be, natural outcome is the mind going to fight with, react with these thoughts, the pains and the sounds. As a yogi, as a person who is developing mindfulness, one must take care not to react, but to understand, I am trying to maintain my mindfulness, just like in tightrope walking. Whenever thoughts happen, pains happen, sounds going to distract, you are losing the balance, about to drop. So whenever this happens, if you are going to become reactive, or unhappy or irritating, you are adding more to this turbulence, so therefore you must sympathize it, understand it, not to react, and just to see what is the main distraction in my character, in my personality, whether it is a thought, or a sound, or a pain. Whenever it happens again and again, simply you can understand, whenever I am going to establish mindfulness, what is the frequent distraction. The main thing is not to react. So soon you understand, you get an opportunity either to continue with the same thought or pain or sounds, or come back to the primary object that here now I am sitting. So establish mindfulness. If you get agitated, reacted, you will get lesser chances to come back to the here and now. So knowing the consequences and the bad effect, without reaction, unassuming way, you have to develop the beginner's mind and bring back the mind to the here and now. So likewise, try to establish again and again, so you will learn a lot of ways and means how to recognize the distraction as well as to bring the mind at home, that means here and now. This is the way we are going to familiarize this first foremost definition, here now I am. Once that is established, we can say mind become introvert rather than its habitual extrovert way. What I mean by extrovert is mind get distracted, go out through the eye door known as seeing, or get distracted, go outward by hearing or smelling or tasting or touching different the tactile sensations. But instead, sacrificing all kind of things, the mind be happy with here and now, with your own body, with your own posture, with your own present moment. That's a radical change. For the first time maybe the mind going to entertain, here now I am, that is kind of a introvert trip. That is what we call insight meditation, bringing the attention inwardly, but don't try to pull it. Your best thing is to give the most conducive conditions for the mind to feel comfortable at here and now, with your own sitting posture, with your own present moment. When that happens, that introvertness happens, then you feel that your being, you're just sitting. And they are mostly, for majority of people, can feel the breath, the most primordial and intrinsic nature of the being, the breath. If there is no such a visual conspicuency of breath, you may just maintain with your sitting posture. But if the breath is going to happen as the prominent thing, as far as the internal objects are concerned, if that is the case, instead of maintaining the mindfulness on here and now, be here and now, you can just replace it with the natural breath. There you must not interfere with the breath, let the breath to be natural, and you just simply observe it as if you are an outsider. This is the second alignment, second gear on be here and now sitting posture. If the breath is become natural, then you replace be here and now from this the in-breath and out-breath. Now your main focus is by its own conspicuency, by its own prominency, the breath. That is why it comes more close with the definition of mind satipatthana, establishment of mindfulness for foundation of mindfulness. And then if the breath happens, you are one step ahead. And now you try to maintain the breath as your primary object, and it must be a natural breath. There you may understand, when the breath becomes prominent, it is mostly engaged in your upper part of your body. So, as a complement to the breath, you can simply forget about the lower part of your body and be concerned or concentrated basically on your upper part of your body, where the dynamisms or metabolic functions of breath is going to take place. Let's say you have to sit comfortably, make the body maintain by itself, and you bring attention only to the upper part of your body. And don't try to do forced breathing or regimentation of the breath. It must be natural breath. And when that happens, if everything is conducive, if your mind is ready to advance, some may find the third alignment, third gear, that is to say, what is the most touching point of the breath or breathing process. Some people find it in the uppermost part of the respiratory tract, that is to say, end of the nostril, or on the upper lip. If that is the case, we technically call it as Anapanasati Bhavana, mindfulness on in-breath and out-breath. And instead some, specifically the cognitive Burmese system, emphasize and feel the movements of the abdomen or movement of the diaphragm. It's also synchronized with the in-breath and out-breath. When the in-breath happens, you can see the expansion of the abdomen, and when the out-breath happens, it is synchronizing with the contraction or falling of the out-breath. So if that is the case, that is the lowermost part of your respiratory tract. And whatever may be, don't force your mind to select according to your wish or your will. Let the mind to select according to the prominence of the object, prominence of the breath. Sometimes it is on the in-breath and out-breath at the nostril level or upper lip, or sometimes at the abdomen level. So few sitting style, specifically for the beginners, can understand what is the most conspicuous, most prominent place, which is keeping the touch for longer than the other. So that is how at the third level you can understand the primary object, whether it is at the nostril or it is at the in-breath and out-breath, the abdominal movements. So this is the way the beginner start to make the mind concentrated for one-pointedness from the mind which is wandering all over the world. First bring to the body, sacrificing the all other interests towards the body. And within the body, sacrificing the lower part of the body, you bring it back to the upper part of the body, to the appearance of the breath. And the third layer, you will try to get the most touching point, most prominent, conspicuous point, and forget about the whole body at the face of this touching sensation. So likewise, slowly, you focus the attention to that particular point according to your temperaments, according to your bodily functions, and that is the way you continue. As much as possible, each step or each gear, you are sharpening your mindfulness. And the very sharp people, with the quick wit, they can understand the difference, the subtle difference of experience between the in-breath feeling and the out-breath feeling also, or the rising mode of the abdomen or the falling mode of the abdomen. If that is the case, you can get the maximum benefit out of the sitting. If that is the case, your mind must be so sharp to understand this is in-breath, not the out-breath. So you can see intrinsic nature, the characteristic nature, individual characters of the in-breath versus the out-breath. When the out-breath happens, you know this is not in-breath, this is not wandering mind, this is not the thought, this is not the sound, this is sound. So this sharpness brings the maximum out of your sitting, equally with the rising and falling. When the rising happens, you know this is not falling, no any other distraction but rising. When the falling happens, you know this is not rising, this is falling. These are the intrinsic characteristics of falling. Likewise, the moment you understand the two different sensations, experience, that is the maximum sharpness as a beginner one can gain, and then onward meditation is very simple to explain. The maintenance of the momentum, the acceleration is what you have to expect. You are your best to find the conducive conditions to maintain this trend, so to say, the feel in-breath versus out-breath, and continuously as long as possible. Or feeling the in-breath, the rising mode of the abdomen versus the falling mode as long as possible. And more you go there, more your mindfulness, and as a consequence, the concentration also will be setting accordingly. But this is the theoretical way of explaining, but there may be a lot of thoughts, maybe some sounds, maybe pains. Whenever such a thing happens, don't try to antagonize it. Don't try to react. Just see they are coming to go, unless otherwise you react. You antagonize. Whenever they go, you must be patient enough to bring your attention back to the body, and slowly, according to as the time permits, to bring it back to the breathing, if the breathing naturally conspicuous, and then to the touching point, and keep on sharpening each and every moment with the idea of don't try to antagonize, get irritated or antagonize. If it is happening, just see as one of your personality trait, and knowing that you must be patient to bring the attention to the primary object, and that is the way we try to experience this hour going to happen. So now onward I am leaving you all with your own posture. So we'll try to continue this sitting walk. So if you feel sitting like, you may go up to 8:15. Thank you very much for listening. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. We have taken about 45 minutes for sitting. So next, before going to the walking meditation, I would like to give some instructions how to do walking meditation, suitable for beginners. And then we can go for one session of walking meditation, and then come together here before the lunch, another sitting session. And over there, before the next sitting, I would like to administer 8 precepts for those who wish to take 8 precepts. Before the walking meditation, I won't take much time. I will give a comparative features with the sitting meditation. You know, the sitting meditation is the intensive method, as I mentioned, for the establishment of the mindfulness. But beginners find very difficult to sit for longer time, so they have to do alternative methods with walking meditation. Walking meditation we do while in the walking posture. For that we need walking paths, not like in the meditation walking path. So usually in the meditation centers, those who are geared for this walking meditation have already prepared conventional walking paths. But here we don't have such already prepared one, but instead we have to improvise the lawn or the pavements, where we need about distance, so enough for 30 steps average. So the stretch of land must be straight, and best with the layer of sand about half an inch, but that is what I call the standard walking path. But whenever you are improvised, you have to take about 30 space enough for 30 steps, and then straight path as well as the level area. There first you stand still facing the walking path that you have selected, and pay your attention to your standing posture, When you pay your attention to the sitting posture, in the sitting meditation it appears like shape of a pyramid or a diagram or just like an ant. But when you stand still, your body will appear like a standing candle or like a peg driven on the ground. So first you establish the mindfulness on standing. Here now I am standing. And if you feel familiar and if the attention come back to the standing posture, then you start the determined area with the normal walking, with your normal speed, with your eyes open, downcast, looking somewhere around 4 to 5 feet ahead of you. Don't look at the objects directly in front of you, or don't look at your feet. It will be about 45 degrees angle and downcast, somewhere around 1 to 2 meters above, ahead of you. And then while you are walking, make the path familiarize. You go to the other end and turn it, come back to the same place, just pacing up and down. Don't make a problem about what is the speed. The speed must be your normal speed. And after a few minutes, if you feel this is path or other distractions, then again come back and stand still. And then bring the attention to your standing posture. And in compare with the sitting meditation, in sitting meditation your attention goes to the upper part of the body and you try to forget about the lower part. But in the walking meditation, right opposite, you bring the attention to your lower part of the body. So you tie your hands in front or behind of you, and then while you are stretching your right leg, try to feel, try to experience at least the touch of the ground of your right sole. Then when that is established, you pay the attention to the left leg, and there also whenever the left foot touches the ground, at least you try to experience the touching sensations of the left leg. Likewise, the touch of the sole on the ground, right, left, you go with the normal speed, try to keep the attention of the touching sensation. In the sitting meditation, you try to focus the attention in one place and either observe in-breath and out-breath or rising and falling. But instead in the walking meditation, your point of attention also changing from the right to the left, left to the right. And eyes are open, and you may get, if you do walking meditation outdoor, the bird sounds and the wind movements and the temperature and all kind of thing. But anyway, the touching sensation of the ground is more rough, more gross, more conspicuous than the touching sensation of the breath in sitting. So therefore you may find the object of meditation is rough, but the distractions are more challenging in the walking meditation. So this is the exercise. So you try to keep the attention as much as possible with your right leg, left leg, right leg, left leg. You feel distractions are becoming irritant. You can just note right, left, note mentally and go to the other end. And while you are turning around also, you have to do in such a way that not to distract or to disturb. You already earn mindfulness to distract. So you turn around, come back. Likewise, you have to keep on walk. The normal walking session is given as 1 hour, though the sitting meditation instructions given first and the walking meditation given second. In your day-to-day activities, specifically in the retreat, always you must do walking meditation after, you must do a sitting meditation after a walking session. Then only you will understand the advantages of walking meditation. It is mobilizing your energy, give you an exercise and as an alternative to sitting meditation, and then after the walking meditation your sitting will be more energetic and mindfulness and the concentration will be easier than without a walking meditation. And further, whenever you do in the normal your day-to-day activities, whenever you get up from the bed, maybe early in the morning, better not to go for sitting without the walking meditation. The early morning sitting will be more drowsy and mind will be more towards the sloth than normal. Instead, if you can have a walking session, you may understand the advantage. And the other one is after a meal also, usually attention, the blood circulation go to the stomach, so therefore there may be some weaknesses or haziness at your head. So under such circumstances, walking meditation is more inviting, and then only you can come and sit, get the advantage of this meditation. And if you're back at your home, if you wish to teach or get the attention of your children for meditation, don't force them for sitting meditation. Instead, you can invite them to do walking meditation. They may find easier to do walking meditation than sitting. And the elderly people, those people who are recovering from serious diseases, also the walking meditation is much appreciated and quite helpful for their health, fast recovery. And meditation also become a hobby rather than a regimentation, if you understand really the value of walking meditation. And many traditions are there in the world today, except Buddhism, prescribing meditation, but only the Buddha give the due appreciation or emphasis on the walking meditation, so that he used to say, those who have recognized the value of walking meditation, they will never give up their endeavor halfway without reaching the results. So if you wish to go for deep experience of meditation and the long way, always you have to incorporate walking meditation, but pressed with time. So whenever the time permits, I know it is many would tend to think that walking is just a wastage of time, is just sitting is the best. But whenever you give the due respect to walking meditation, you will understand that truth is the opposite. The day you understand the walking meditation, you may find that the whole meditative life will be a hobby-like. It's a way of life rather than expecting completely conducive atmosphere like meditation holds. So the day you understand the walking meditation, you may find while you are walking in the supermarket or other places also, though it is not fully conducive and supportive, you can get some kind of experience of walking meditation if you are confining to yourself. And the other one is that if you wish to bring this mindfulness meditation back at your home, the walking meditation is much easier to repeat at home, and easy to expand it further into the extensive method meditation of mindfulness in day-to-day activities also. So therefore, the sitting and walking must be given equal emphasis in a retreat like this. So now we will go for a walking session, and we'll be meeting here. Of course, we have about 30 minutes. We'll be meeting here at about 9 o'clock, and also wish to take 8 precepts. We'll start with that administration of the 8 precepts, and we can go for one another sitting meditation from 9 to 10. Thank you very much for this. Any question or any difficulty of understanding my English? Or is it clear?